Alright, for everyone wondering my settings for under controller, this is my horizontal, my vertical 3.5. You can change it to your liking, obviously, but I like a higher sense, but trust me, trust you, and you'll like it. Controller vibration, I turned it on, but however, do not turn the intensity to 100%, turn it to 30%, because sometimes you could still feel the vibration of certain things even if you don't hear the audio. Like for footsteps, for certain aspects, you could feel it on your controller vibration even if someone has certain perks. For dead zones now, I got a 5 for my minimum for left stick, a 45 for my maximum left stick, 3 for my minimum of right, and 100 for my maximum. Dead zones for my R2 and L2 buttons are 0. My aiming now, however, this is where it kind of gets tricky a little bit. My third person, the only thing you want to change is third person, tactical stance, and ADS sense. You want them all 0.10. You're gonna see in your aim why that is, and why the horizontal and vertical is 3.5 for me. Therefore, you can't see this one, but it's gradual, assist, and dynamic. And then I got custom sensitivity per zoom. This is for like my AR for the first one. I like a 0.75. I'm still messing with the bottom 4. But my second one is for my sniper. My sniper, I like a higher sniper sense. But however, the friend that I just gave my settings to, they changed their sniper to a 0.10, which their aim is crazy now. Because they like a slower sniper sense, but their aim is insane. Okay, so now the next thing. After the aiming, for movement, I got tactical assist on. Go to show more. No delay, put 0. Put that on, put this on, low mantle assist. Show more. You want sideways, backwards, tactical sprint only. Because you don't want to accidentally be mantling behind something because you're walking. You know what I mean? So you rather like a run kind of motion. Or even if like you're in active fighting, you're still going to kind of mantle because you're gradually running, even if you're running gradually backwards. Or even if you slide backwards. And you want the angle tight, just in case, like, let's say there's something over right here and it's like kind of like you're tight squeezed between it, like let's say a corner and something else, or like a window, for instance. You could quickly jump out of it. Crouch assistant, I have it off. For me, it seems to be messed. I had it on at first, but it messed up a lot of my stuff for crouching. For corner, sorry if I'm shaking a lot, I'm recording on my phone. For corner splicing, I got that on. I like that. Sideways only for the jump, wall jump assist. Slide or dive behavior, you want that tap to slide. But also, if you show more, I did test these out for the hold durations. Long, you gotta longer press it, and short, but it seemed to mess up on both long and short for me, so don't even touch that. So I got sprint restores on, I got slide maintains on. You want automatic airborne on as well, just in case mantle. Free fall I got on. I got automatic wingsuit on. Wall jump activation, you want it to press, you don't want it to hold it, because holding the button, you're going to be pressing multiple different buttons at once, instead of giving yourself a little bit more breathing room to not stress yourself out, and then just press it and then run up to the wall, kind of. That's why I said the side jump and all the other activations earlier into the movement. For combat roll, you want it on partial. Partial helps it out a little bit more, where it doesn't fully activate it, where always it activates it. And in my preference, I don't like it because it messes me up when I get in a real gunfight. That's why sometimes I have like momentum on or something to negate the fall damage, or like grapplers. As soon as I'm about to hit the ground, boom, hit the grappler. Or as soon as I'm about to hit the ground, pull out my parachute and already basically be on the ground as soon as I pull out my parachute. For slide combat roll, you want to tap the slide so it doesn't interfere with your slide behavior as well. So therefore, it's basically like if you had tap to roll on instead, it's kind of like contradicting itself, kind of. So it's trying to think what it wants to do. So this combat roll, I like it on third person. I don't like it in first person because just in case if I need my camera view to see where the enemy is. And then the movement advanced settings, for tactical sprint behavior, you want that on hold. I don't like it on toggle just because if you toggle it, you press the button once and it's automatically stuck to that button. Now, however, you holding it, you can be able to control it a lot better. For auto move forward, I don't like that on. That's the exact reason why you don't want toggle on as well. It'll be basically doing the same thing. Auto door peek, that is useful for me. For auto door peek, to do it correctly, just move forward slowly at the door. Don't bash into the door, else you're gonna bash the door open. You want to gradually kind of nudge the door. For tactical sprint activation, I got single tap sprint on. I got trigger on for the water. Sprinting door bash obviously is easiest for me. And then combat, I got aim down sight hold, tactical stance behavior on toggle. This is all this stuff is basically the same, or however you want to your preference. I like C4. C4 is good to one-on-one because I'm not gonna get into it this video, but however I will get onto it later on possibly. I'm telling you all the benefits of C4. For this, change activation zoom, I got it on sprint, tactical sprint focus, weapon mount, exit, instant. The second one, or interact, reload behavior, prioritize, interact, mantle cancels reload. I don't like reloading while I'm mantling and running away because it could be hectic, because if you're trying to reload, it's basically canceling out your mantle at that point. And I don't like, that's this off, because every time you get into a gunfight, you're always running. So therefore, if you keep on running, you're gonna always keep on canceling out your gun, and then you have to stop and basically be in a walking position to even reload your gun. So this one, for this is independent. I tried this out before. Do not change it. Just do not change it. It is very horrible. And then this is off. This is on for depleted ammo. Weapon mount on. Weapon mount return. I have it off because I'm not returning to a weapon mount, and plus I can easily mount my weapon again. So why would I have something on? That's basically a double standard kind of, and making the game focus a lot different ways where it shouldn't need to focus, where it needs to focus. And then that's obviously just, this is the overlay advanced settings, I think. Yeah. So this is just normal, or however you like to your liking, basically. And then this part is where you guys are going to need to pay attention. Graphics, however, for brightness, I got it to 100. I'm going to just tell you that right now, 100. Echo mode preset efficient. You want it on an efficient. This, I was messing with this a lot in the gun range yesterday. You want the world motion blur off. You want the weapon motion blur off. You want the depth and field on. You want the whatever, I don't even know how to say that, but you want that on. And then you want it to 40, and then you want it optimized. Show more. So when you show more, allocate texture, catch size. Do not have it on auto, else it's gonna auto configure basically the game data basically. So if let's say it wants to download a small patch of data, a medium patch of the game, then it's gonna do so. Therefore, you should just have it on large. So therefore, it's running the game a lot better, where even the optimized and the other stuff is still basically counter-attacking it from your console or your device basically overheating. And we are done, I think, on this part. So now the view part. The view is 120. ADS independent. Weapon field of view, you want wide. Third person view, all the way up. Default. For me, I tried 150%. That's why my first and third person camera movement is 75%. I find it the best to have your camera movement. And for third person ADS transitioning, first person ADS. And if you like inverted flashes on, where if you regularly move where your down is down and your up is up, where inverted flash would be up, or up would be down and down would be up, I wouldn't recommend doing it. But if, however, that's what you're comfortable at doing, then however do so. And then parachute camera perspective is on first person. And then my audio, I'm still kind of messing with my audio a little bit, but this is how I got my audio. Gameplay music at 50, 100 dialogue, 100 effect, 18 cinematic. Audio mix, sucker punch. I honestly might change that later on, but I'll keep you guys updated if I do. What else? Voice chat. That's not really a big deal, but I got prox chat off. I always get prox chat banned, so, and I got body shield off, so that don't really make sense to me. And for this controller, you always want to make sure your controller's on, else it's gonna try and auto configure your mouse and keyboard if you got it on. See, I don't got skip kill cam on, but sometimes it skips kill cam, and I don't understand that. My bad for the hiccups. And then gameplay HUD, I just got it basically all the same. Visible, you want all that on, everything on basically for your HUD. I think that's about it. And then actually the crosshairs you want to change too. So for the crosshairs, I choose yellow, but however, before we get into that, let's get into this first. Alright, so for the crosshair lines, you want to click on show more. You want to crosshair, you want to make sure that's on. And then the next part, I like my dot on a larger scale. So therefore, we're over on the graphics. This wide view, it's going to make your gun look smaller. So therefore on your, hold on just a second, I accidentally pressed something. So therefore on interface, over here now, on where you're making your crosshair dot larger, you can see your crosshair a lot better where your barrel is instead of that. I tried largest. You could try largest if you want. That's completely up to you. It just makes the dot a little bit bigger. That's in the middle of the outlined, like the dash marks. But however, that's how I play. But I recommend that. But you could test it out. That's all I said. Just test it out. But I got my crosshair colors to yellow. So I like seeing yellow because the human eye reacts a lot better to a brighter color. And then hit marker visuals, I like it on. And then damage based hit markers on. Everyone obviously probably likes it on unless you're a noob. But let's see, for anchor colors, you don't need to change none of this, honestly. That's just for like the grid and like basically like advanced motion sickness and stuff. Like, but you don't want that unless you have like seizures or something of sorts. And then I think that's about it, chat. Yeah, that's about it. That's all for me. But just let me know if you like the video and like my settings and stuff, and keep me updated and stuff about the settings. Just some of the stuff, do not change too much of it, because if you change one thing, it will mess up a whole bunch. But if you have questions, please do comment, and you don't even have to like, but if you want to like, you can like the video. But I want to mainly just help you guys out more than anything. So just let me know if you're having an issue with something, and we can go into like the firing range or something, and we can go and test it out, and I will help you out what to do if you need help. But if not, it is fine with me. If you want to just do it by yourself, then that is okay as well, because some of the settings that I said as well, you may have to change slightly to your liking, like the vertical and horizontal. I like a 3.5, but you're gonna understand why it's a 3.5 as well, with certain other things turned down so low. And thank you guys for watching the video, and take it easy, and I'll see you guys next time.